You're the one who wrote it up, so my question is to you.
No, I do not.
Okay. You see no problem with that. Okay. Steve, go ahead.
My position really hadn't changed from the very beginning. I think this discriminates against low income because it doesn't give them the same opportunity that it's getting that has people with higher incomes to move off the island. Said it from the very beginning. At least ask people where they would rather live and what opportunities. And I said this to the fair housing advocates when I talked to them. I said, I think you really aren't doing what's in the best interest. At least ask them. And it doesn't appear they even have a choice. So if you went to some of the people and asked, would you rather have your public housing somewhere else, or would you rather have it in Galveston, give them a choice. I don't think the housing authority has to have a housing authority to go buy property somewhere else. You have a Fair Housing Act, so there's nothing that prohibits anybody, the housing authority or another nonprofit, from buying property somewhere and letting people live in it. So all I'm saying is the agreement, that the conciliation agreement, which I'm not sure how binding it is, but let's assume it is, that the 569 units that they want to build, I think everybody's kind of agreed, but I don't even think you should build the 569 here if they don't want it, that are coming back. And I haven't really talked to anyone, but most people I talk to, if you said, do you want a house in Galveston, or do you want a house somewhere else, they may take somewhere else right now because of the economic opportunity here. Because you don't have the same economic opportunity you had here 30 years ago with all the retails and all the different businesses. And you sure don't have the same economic opportunity you have here as you do in League City, Friendswood, and some of the other areas. So to me, it's telling somebody a low income, you have to live on Galveston Island, and it's telling people that lost their house in round two, we're going to build you a new house, but you don't have to live in Galveston. You can live wherever you want. To me, that discriminates against the low income, the public housing. So that's just my personal opinion, and it hasn't changed from the very beginning. And I've said that over and over again.
Now, we're going to raise our hands, and we're talking twice on this, okay? So let me just make sure if anyone who has not spoken would like to talk on this. All right, Linda, I saw your hand up again.
I'm trying to see how it's discriminatory, because a person is not going to be required to move into public housing. It would be their choice if they decide that they want to even come back on the island to live in public housing. And it's not just for people who are unemployed. There's a component of public housing, based on my understanding, that's workforce housing. Many of the people that lived in public housing before the storm actually worked on the island. And with gas prices, transportation issues, it would be very difficult for them to come work in our restaurants, our hotels, in our retail establishments. Even for the city of Galveston, who are employed on the low end of income in terms of working for our public works departments and in other areas, who have a need to have affordable housing, to be able to live and work in the same city without having to have transportation and the additional expense of gas to cross the causeway every day. That would eat up their entire paycheck, practically. And how would they be able to afford to continue to provide services on this island that we desperately need, that support our businesses? But
it's not spoken, or Diana Pachetti.
I'm in agreement with the Mayor Pro Tem on this. I can't support this the way it's written. It says, including selection of sites for replacement of the public housing units damaged in Galveston County by Hurricane Ike. I can't support that. We have been over and over that 569 is the number that needs to be rebuilt on the island. We've heard it from every level of officials, from the federal government, who controls the funding, down through the state, who's allocating the funding, and I cannot support this resolution at all. I think
My issue on the other part of it is that I'm just saying give people a choice, and they obviously aren't given the choice of where they want to live. Yes, you don't have to live in public housing, but let's say you don't have the money to live anywhere but public housing. Give me my home. If you don't have the money to live anywhere but public housing, and you prefer to live on the mainland, all we're saying is we support it countywide. They can come back and probably tell us no, but it's just saying, I think it's better for the individuals that you're building it for to give them a choice. It doesn't appear to be a choice, period, for whatever reason. Forget the law doesn't allow it. If you're really doing what you think is best for the individuals, then try to make that work and do what's best for the individuals. Bringing them back to Galveston is not best for the individuals in all cases. Ones that want to, fine. But why give some people the opportunity to go off the island and not give the low to moderate income the opportunity to go off the... That's been my position from day one, and there was actually a story in a paper way back about should it be based on population around the county and all that. So this isn't new for me, but
It's with, the year 2008 to 2011. That's where we are. And then the conciliation agreement with literally hundreds of millions of dollars for us alone and $3 billion in Texas. If we start messing with that by passing resolutions that have code language in them, especially after not workshopping it yet, especially when we had this wonderful master developer who gave a 2-hour presentation today. And the fact, Elizabeth, that I know you haven't workshopped this with the Housing Authority and run it by them, it seems almost as if it's just more of the same that we've been debating here. I'm going to ask you guys not to support this because it's unnecessary and it's trigger language for an issue we've already gone over. Now, I know that there's a lot of people who don't agree with me on this. That's my burden to accept, because when you're mayor, you have to make tough leadership decisions, and you don't agree with them. I appreciate it, folks. I respect that. We have to be very careful, however, when we're talking about Galveston's recovery, and it's this sort of thing that I wrote about in the paper today, and I totally respect the movement's right to put this before us, but I'm asking the City Council not to engender further delay to our streets, to our wastewater treatment plants, to our private homes, because that is exactly what the GLO is going to get out of this document. Do not support this resolution, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't agree. I think it muddies the water. I think right now we need to keep things as clean and as crystal clear as we can. After we start and we have embarked on actually building the units and participating, and we have some finished, maybe that's a time to do it. But I don't agree that we should do it now. I think anything less, I'm going to have to go back to what I used to say a long time ago about sit and spin. If everybody had kids with a sit and spin and they get on it and they go around and around till they're dizzy, they don't really know where they are when they're finished, this is the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah. So if you want to endorse this, buy some stock and sit and spin.
Let me just say to Chris, let me just be real clear that leaving words out or leaving words generally is what gets you in trouble in a powder keg environment right now, where you've got the state who's breathing down our neck, you've got fair housing advocates who are breathing down our neck, and frankly, people on the...
We are the ones that get to speak for the $90 million corporation, but didn't get to be part of the conciliation agreement. I mean, we weren't part of it. We weren't.
I won't deny that.
I mean, they made a deal without us, and I'm not even saying not to build them here. I'm just saying that nobody was given a choice of where they wanted to be. That's all. And they're giving other people a choice, but they're not giving these people a choice of the low income. The good news about the Housing Authority, I said this the other day, is having them do this makes us the second most hated group in town, and the most hated group in town, but it kind of takes the... But I'm just saying that this right here is...
no one hates anybody.
Yeah. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I guess what I'm saying is all you're doing is just saying a resolution. We think this is a better approach, and this is more fair to give people of low income the same opportunity you give people with higher income to build off the island if they prefer, or live off the island. That's all it's saying. Right. I don't see you read into it what you're reading into it.
Well, Steve, that's fine. all I'm saying is I need to